Hi everyone, I'm going to do an art journal page today and I'm in the mood for a purple. I took out some paper napkins I've got in all kinds of purples in them. It doesn't have to be paper napkins. You can use, if you have all kinds of other papers, and if you don't like purple you can choose another color to do your background. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to collage pieces of the paper napkins, and probably I will take some of these papers. So you can use painty papers, you can use 12 by 12, all kinds of stuff, and just pick the color that you want in the back. Now don't get attached to anything because this is just a background and probably some of it is going to get covered. So I'm going to start, and this and this are the darkest paper napkins, so I want to keep them mostly to the edges of my page. Now here I've got a white rose, and it doesn't really work for what I have in mind because white goes transparent on when you are gluing it to the page, so I'm going to avoid this area and just going to take all kinds of rectangles. I'm not even trying to be precise or straight with the rectangles that I'm taking. I'm just going to play with the pieces and spread them all over. I'm also going to layer them. That's one of the best qualities that paper napkin have. I really like how, because they are translucent, when you're gluing them you get more interesting areas when you're layering them, all kinds of in between. Okay, so I want to have rectangles from each paper napkin, so I will have something to play with. Here we go. Rectangles, squares, whatever. You can even tear them. If you don't want to do rectangles, you don't have to. This time I'm just going with this. Sometimes I like to tear and do all kinds of stuff. Also here I've got white flowers on the paper napkin, but I'm hoping that I will layer and they will disappear. We'll see. I'm going to start. I'm using white glue diluted with water. That's what I'm using for paper napkins. If you are not using paper napkins, you can use just regular white glue. I'm using a flat, soft brush, and I'm not skimping on the amount of glue. It will probably take a long time to dry, but what can you do? I'm only working on this side today. Now I'm going on top of it. I'm moving from center to the outside. As you can see, it's all crooked and I don't care. Again, it's going to get layered, and also there is going to be more paint on it, so I really don't care. And a lot of glue is going on top, and always use the flat of the brush, and with a lot of glue. You don't want it to drag the paper napkin, you want it to glide on top. So you see I'm already layering the pieces, and I'm starting with the edges because it's just easier that way. For me, I don't care if I have wrinkles. It really doesn't matter for what I'm doing. I'm trying to lay them out in all kinds of directions just because it's more interesting, and also, again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's all going to get layered, so I'm not stressing about it. Okay. Should probably had put something underneath this page. Maybe I'll do this now. Where did I put? Okay. Just going to put something underneath before everything is getting glued down. Okay. Now I'm just using for right now two kinds of paper napkins, but I could have probably gotten more. Doesn't really matter. And I can go outside the edges of the page, and when it's dry I'll just trim the excess. Those who don't like crooked lines, just do your own thing and do it straight with straight lines. Okay, I need more pieces, so I'm going to cut some. Yeah, okay, more pieces to cut. Let's see. I'm taking a larger piece just so I can move along faster, because it really doesn't matter. This is just the first layer, and it's all going to get covered. And even if you don't like an area in what you are gluing, you can always go and take another piece and glue like this, which I'm going to do right now just because. Yeah. Okay, so continuing with the same two paper napkins. Okay. Lots and lots of glue. That's the only downside with this kind of projects. You will have to wait until everything is dry. Okay, taking another piece. Okay. Okay, so here I've got too much of this. I can go in and just glue another piece on top of it. I can move on to other papers and just have fun with it. Let's take something from this just so you can see how easy it is to work with all kinds of papers. So whatever you've got, that's what you are using. Let's see, let's go with this. I've picked this because it's a little bit different and it has an interesting pattern on top of it, so I will have more details in the back. I decided not to take something like this because you can hardly see the pattern. Okay, so once again, okay, I think I'll move on to the next paper napkins. So now I'm just cutting pieces as I go. So looking at this paper napkin, it seems kind of dreary and boring, but you need to think, if you are buying paper napkins, you need to think how it will look glued down and see how, because this is almost white, although it's kind of grayish purple, you get to see all this details on top of other things, so it's interesting. Let's see. Yeah, let's take some of this, so I will also have some more greenish color. Now this paper napkin, as you can see, I've got two squares here that are just plain solid color. Even with this you can work. You can take all kinds of stamps, stamp all over, and basically make your own paper napkin and your details, whatever you want. If you can stamp it like I have here, you can stamp it with butterflies and you create basically your own thing. So, and it doesn't have, of course it doesn't have to be butterflies. You can stamp whatever you want. You can, even if you don't have a silicone, clear silicone stamps, there are other kind of stamps, and even if you don't have that, you can take all kinds of objects you have at home and just stamp with acrylic paint. I'm trying to overlap, so again I'll get interesting things in between. And like any kind of project, at the start it looks like a mess, but then you turn it into something special. And of course, if you don't like something, you can always cover it up. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure I'm going to use this because the background is white. I don't know. Maybe I'll just put a rectangle here and then continue layering. Make my life easier by covering the middle. You can probably hear jet fighters overhead. Kind of had it with it, but what can you do? It is what it is. Always afraid to open the news and see what happened. Okay, so not bad, the white here. It gives a little bit of more light. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave it as is in the middle, but I really want to add more layering here on the outside. So I'm gonna take a little bit more. And I'm also planning on either stamping or stenciling, so there's going to be more details. Okay, so I really liked how this paper napkin added interest to the background, so that's what I'm going to use. Yeah, or maybe, yeah, I'm gonna go like this, and let's see. I know I covered most of the piece here, but I don't care. That's just part of the process. I think just one more in this area and I'm good for this background. For the start of the background. I haven't finished with the background yet. Let's see. Another piece. Yeah. Okay, so this needs to be dry completely before I continue, so I'll be back. Okay, so this background is mostly dry. It feels a little bit wet in some places. I've already trimmed the excess around my page, and now I want to create some kind of wash on top of this to push it back. A wash can be any color that you want. The only thing is that you dilute it with water. I'm going to use this lilac acrylic paint and add water to it. And you can go with white, you can do it with gesso, you can do it with sprays, you can do it with anything that you want, as long as you keep it translucent. Again, you can also decide that you want to cover some areas of your background and make them opaque, also fine. You just pick the spots that you want and you go over with something that is opaque. I want to do a wash. Another thing, you can use inks and you can use watercolors, so all kinds of ways to go about it. So I've got the lilac color here. I'm adding a lot of water because I like to start very thin and just gradually add, because I can't subtract from it. So I'd rather just go very lightly and then add if I want to. So okay, now you can use a brush like I'm doing right now. You can use a sponge. A sponge is better if you are wetting it and that it will be a little bit moist. It just helps spreading the wash on top of your page. I can also spray directly if I feel I put too much, and just drag it. Okay. I can also, if I don't like something, I can go in with some paper towels or baby wipe and absorb whatever is too much on the page. So all kinds of way to go about it. The only thing that matters is to go slow and see where it's getting you. So just lightly. Go lightly and then add as you go. Like I feel it's too much here, I can go, this is a baby wipe, and I can go like this. Also, what I like with a wash or watercolors or inks, anything that is watery, is that they are getting into all the wrinkles, so I'm also getting lots of texture. And in terms of what color to do the wash, it's really up to you. I could have gone with white, I could have gone with a cream if I wanted it to be a little bit warmer in color. And of course here I just used the same palette because I'm doing purple. I decided this time to stay with the purple, so that's what I picked, but I could also have gone completely different. I could have done a green wash, a blue wash, depending on the end result I wanted. If I wanted, what kind of hue or tint do I want to have. So I know I really liked the page even before the wash, but because I want to layer, I'm not getting attached to it, so I don't care that I've pushed back most of the details. Of course, if you liked your background as is, don't do a wash, just continue working on it as it is. Don't do a wash if you don't like it. Okay, so once again, this needs to be completely dry before I continue. I want to stamp on top of it. I've got a new trivet, silicone trivet that I'm hoping to use here, and we'll see where it gets me. So I'll be back. Okay, so mostly dry as much as I can wait. Don't have much patience for things to dry, and so moving on. I've got this text from the napkin in the back and I really like it, so I grabbed another stamp that I have, and that's what I'm going to stamp here randomly on top of the page. Now I'm not looking for any fine print and I've got so much texture going on here, so it won't be completely perfect. It doesn't need to be. It just more details to the background. I really like having text in the background, so that's what I'm doing by adding this. It's just building up more visual texture to your page. Yeah, don't know how much of it you can see, but it's here. Okay, so that was the text. I've used Memento Tuxedo Black, and now for my new trivet that I was looking forward to use, and I thought about going again with purple because that's what I have, but then I decided to go with green, and I've picked this one, and I'm thinking that I want to it's a little bit too bright for me, so I'm thinking of mixing it with something else. Let's see what, maybe this green, and I'll use maybe not this one. I'm just looking what I can add to the mix, so to push it a little back. It's a little bit too neon for my taste, at least for this page. So I'm putting this and adding a little bit of this olive dark green, and we'll see where it gets me. Let's see, let's mix it with some stick. I don't know. Nope. Maybe a little white here. It's like there's too much of a yellow inside the green, so again I'm going a very lightly. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Maybe let's go dark again until I'll have the perfect color. Okay, now I like it. Okay, so with this silicone trivet, I can go with a sponge on top of it. I can go with the brayer. I can just do it with my finger, and that's what I'm going to do because I'm just into saving the paint. So I'm just tapping, and I'm not going on top of everything because I don't want a perfect print. Yeah, if you want a perfect print, by all means do it. Okay, so once again I'm going to do it randomly on top of the page. It's just part of the background. Okay. Yes. Once again, you can also use a brush, whatever is you like more. Whatever floats your boat. Let's put this right here. Yes, and a little bit more. I like having stamps or whatever elements you use go outside the edges. It looks a little bit more organic, but really up to you. I think I'm going to put a little bit here in the corner. Yeah, and just adding a little bit all around. Yes, now I like it, and I'm not wasting any paint, so let's bring one of the notebooks for a excess paint. Here we go. And that's how you make more painty papers. Yeah, okay, so I've got this finished with the stamping. If you can, just wipe your trivet, and later on just under some water. Right now I'm just going over with a baby wipe, and I need another baby wipe because I'm always getting paint all over me. Okay, focal point. Of course, focal point. I wasn't too sure from the beginning what I wanted to do, but I'm thinking a flower, and a very easy one. And I want some book pages. Let's see, or maybe, yeah, either book pages or a map to do a collage to make a flower. I'm thinking maybe, no, I don't like the color, so no, not for the map. Maybe something else. Some book pages. Okay, I'm just reaching out for some book pages that I've got from some book that I took the inside to make a book box. And I'm going to take a pencil, and I'm thinking what kind of petals do I want for my flower. And no, maybe simple or leaf shape. Let's go with leaf shape. It's my I think it's my go-to shape. I'm doing all kinds. I don't care. Very free, and I'm going to cut them in a minute and create the petals of my flower, and probably some leaf. Okay, so I've got one. I'm doing it quite quickly. I'm using nail scissors because it's just easier to use curvy and dainty scissors on something that is curvy than regular straight scissors. Oops, this one just got some green on it because I'm working messy. Yes, I know. Thing is, I will probably going to add some green to the petals. I don't know yet, but maybe. I'm laying them down and not cutting them all first, just so I can see how they look, and if I need more. Yeah, more. Maybe I'll even overlap them, we'll see. Okay, I can probably, maybe 2 more, yeah. And maybe I'll do bigger ones for leaves. Yeah. Okay. If you have stencil of a flower that you like, you can also use a stencil as a guide. It doesn't have to be freehand like I'm doing. And it doesn't have to be this shape as petals. It's just what you like. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm just cutting the leaves. One, and here goes another one. Okay, so something like that, and I still need something for the inside. We'll see. I think I'll just start or maybe it's better if I'll do the center first and then work around it. So for the center, maybe I can take some circle from one of these papers. Where is the one that I used before? Yeah. Again, I'm doing it freehand. You don't have to. Okay, so gluing it down, I'm taking this glue just because it has a fine nozzle, so it makes my life easier. Otherwise, you don't need this strong glue for paper. I didn't glue this, and I said I will work around it, so I should glue it down. Okay. Okay, just moving it so I can see what I'm doing. I'm overlapping a little bit again, so it will look a little bit more organic. Doesn't mean that I'm going for a realistic flower. Just something that would look a little bit more organic. That's it. Up to your imagination. You can do whatever you want. Maybe I will need more petals, we'll see, because I overlapped, so we'll see. I think before I glue the last one here, I'll do the stem, and I'm going to use an acrylic marker. Still a little bit wet. Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking one more petal for my flower. Okay, I've got this. And now gluing the leaves. They are not going to stay this. I want to add some kind of a paint a little bit to the leaves and the petals, so it's not over yet. Okay, glued all the pieces, and let's see. I'm thinking I will just go around the circle, the inside circle, with another acrylic pen, acrylic marker, like so. And I've got a darker one. Let's see. Maybe, yeah, some pollen, I think. Sometimes I forget what's the word in English. Okay, so I've got this, and now for around the petals I want something smudge to very soft and smudgy, so probably a pencil. Let's see this color, maybe. No. Another way to go about it, well, first of all, I know I want a little bit of green here, so I'm taking, this is Distress Ink Bundled Sage, and I'm going to take a brush and just make a little hint of the green here. Also can be done with the sponge, or if you have the sponge, the little sponges that are used to put a eyeshadow also can work. It's starting to take shape. So maybe I'll do this smudging also with some kind of purple here. I don't know, we'll see. You can even use eyeshadow. If you've got eyeshadow in all kinds of colors, then go for it. Oh, it's raining. Okay, so at last minute decision, I want a line around each petal, and I like some wobbly lines, don't know how to call them. I don't like precise, so I'm going to use a gel pen. I've got all kinds from all over, cheap stores, Amazon, Temu, AliExpress, so I can't tell you where I've got them. Let's see. So yeah, I'm going like this on purpose. I really like it like that. The more you do art journaling or whatever art, you get to know what do you like more. So here we go, giving a little bit more definition and color to each petal. Yeah, and going all wobbly on purpose. I think it gives also some character to to whatever object you're doing. The light is not good because everything turned gray outside. Yeah. And now for the leaves, I'll pick a green. Let's see. If you like a precise, you can go your own way, and before gluing you can also use, if you only have acrylic paint, then you can just use acrylic paint with a makeup sponge to go around each shape. Just to give everything a little bit more distinction from the rest. And the only thing that I want to do here on this page is to go and darken the edges a little bit. All kinds of ways to go about it. Acrylic paint with makeup sponge, a brush with some kind of ink pad, all kinds of ways to go about it. I think I'll go with this. This is Dusty Concord. I think that's what I'm going to use. And some brush, and just go around my edges. And once again, I'm not trying to be precise. I like, especially in the corners, to get inside more. It just helps bring everything together and frame your page. You don't have to do it, it's up to you. I don't mind having all this mess here, because it would probably be another thing with collage, so it will all get covered. I'm not worrying about it. Almost done. I really like this. I'm thinking that I need to take a smaller brush and just maybe, no, not this one. I need something smaller. Just do some shadow underneath. Yeah. It makes everything pop. I'm also getting in here, in between, and a little bit around the circle or a oval that I have here. I'm really liking this. Turned out better than I thought. It's all in the little details. Yeah, so that's it. That's my page. I really like it. I hope you do too, and that you try your hand in doing something like this. So thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.